Let's move on to the presentation. Next one is the government institute by which the production of each and every food item and the demand or the consumption are analyzed. I think there is a government institute which already is doing this, but the sources by which they get the information may not be so accurate at the moment. And basically this system provides that kind of interface for this supply and demand analysis, whatever the institute, and their role is very important, because after some time the database is created. The database will have data. For example, when 90% of the farmers of the country join the system, that will be a superb database for them to query all kind of data they want, and then they can input to the system, okay, each of the commodity, this is the yearly demand or the quarterly demand for each of the food item. Then this detail, this information fed to the system, then the farmers will decide, depending on this demand information, farmers will decide what crop they are going to grow. So the role of this institute is very important in the system, one of the key roles of the system. And also this system, this institute will determine like how much food is stored, and from the stores how much of food has to be released to control the price and the supply in the market. And then final point is provide forecast a seasonal food deficit or surplus of food data to import export controller, which comes next. So this is the institute which actually govern the system at high level, and some other system depend on this role. Then, as I said before, the importer can also register in the system, and importer can find the distributors, and then when the system get matured, they will be able to see in the system what are the foods that are allowed to import in a particular date in the future, and then they should have the license to import the commodity and the particular quantity. And then when the import comes, the customs will check the import license to verify the imported quality and the quantity. Also, the importer can use the system to auction their imported food items, so that the distributors can bid and then buy from them. And the exporter is similar to importer. They can register in the system, they can find the distributors, and they can bid to the published items of the distributors. They can because basically the distributors are the people who go and buy food items from farmers, and they can bid and they can auction them again in the system, so that the exporters can bid to the wholesale at the wholesale price. And similar to imports, the export also, the export licenses, seasonal export license are issued by the authority depending on the data supplied by supply and demand of the institute. And when they get export license, then only they can do an export particular quantity. This governs the price of the particular commodity inside the country. An importer can also use the system to check predicted production and find distributors to collect food items. And then when the shipment ready, the customs will check the export license and verify the quantity of each item they export. And this is the another role that will be introduced to the system, I think. I don't know if there's any institute that is doing this import export control at the moment, but it should be a government institute which issue seasonal import export license depending on the food production and any shortage of food inside the country, and to control the prices, the consumer prices, and the buying price of the farmers' harvest. So they can so this institute depend on the information supplied by supply and demand analysis institute of the government, and then they will issue import and export licenses targeted to the future date, maybe 2-3 months ahead, and then it will supply the same information to the customs, so that when when they import or export, they verify the quantity or the quality of food imported or exported. The customs will be interacting with this four roles: the importers, exporters, import and export control, and the supply and demand analysis. And custom is already doing this role in a way, but they will also be given interface to the system so that they can have a look at the import export control issued by that particular government institute, and then verify the shipments. The importers and exporters are importing and exporting through the customs. And then finally, in the later stage of the project, later phase of the project, we'll introduce the standard organization. I'm not sure the standard organizations are doing these roles at the moment. So the role of a standard organization is to can define the quality standards for each of the food items to be sold in local market, and what kind of fertilizers or the preservatives and other chemicals and should be used in farming, and then they will be linked to the farmers, and farmers will have to choose, okay, what are the pesticides they used. This is a kind of advanced aspect of the system. And a standard organization will work with public health officers to regularly check the quality of food sold in the market, and feed producer ratings to the system. And also this standard organization can introduce the packaging or transport standards, so that the farmers or the distributors can adopt to those standards, and the system they are visible, the consumers, importers or exporters can see what is the standard each of the distributors are following when they're transporting the food. They can recommend the packaging and the how they package, or what container they have to use, and all kind of these things. Or also they can recommend the farmers, okay, for example, like if they are selling papaya. At the moment I have seen, like when they transport papaya, they just use a piece of paper, wrap it. But when the standard organization introduce these things, like they have to use particular kind of plastic boxes to package papaya, and then when farmers are auctioning, they have to choose what is the packaging they have done, and depending on the packaging, the distributors can accept whether they are cleaned, they are cleaned, and how they are packaged. Thanks for watching this video. My contact numbers and email are mentioned here for anyone to contact me to get more information of this proposed software system.